Hello everybody, good afternoon and welcome to the United Stand. This is your Champions League preview. This is Ollie's revenge. This is Manchester United against Villarreal in what is a massive game anyway, but I feel that we as fans have to pump this game up. We've got to pump it up because it doesn't really feel like Manchester United at the moment have that drive within themselves to do that. I mean, the nonsense I saw this morning from the Manchester United Twitter account where they've tweeted out Bruno's apology with loads of United fans, players under it going fist pump, you're one of us, we go again and all this crap. And I'm like, no, I don't want to see this. He missed a bloody penalty. He's missed a penalty. He's not stolen the trophies from the bloody stadium tour. He's missed a penalty. It doesn't really matter. He's been the most relevant player at this club in the last 2 years. I don't think anybody's got it in for Bruno. He doesn't need to write War and Peace about an apology, and we don't need all the players going, "Oh, Bruno, you'll come back stronger." We're implementing under Ollie a loser's mentality. That's what we're implementing, and we need to get back to being Manchester United. These things happen. Move on. Show a bit of grit. Show a bit of determination. Show a bit of bloody leadership. Actually, I'd like to see a few players having a go at each other a little bit more, because I just think we're becoming like England. For all my life, I've had this with England. You lose a semi-final, you get a stadium tour. You get a bus tour. I don't want that. If you lose, you're a loser. That's it. You might be a bit unlucky, but you win. You look at Manchester United when we won the Champions League in the penalty shootout in Moscow. No one remembers Chelsea. They were unlucky. Did they do a bus tour? 99. We'd lost it going into stoppage time and we won it. Did Bayern Munich do a bus tour? Come on, we got to get that winning mentality back at Manchester United, and it starts on Wednesday night against Villarreal in the Champions League. And look, you know what? Ollie talks about excitement. We've got a few injury updates to bring you on from both teams. Fred needs to apologise, says Mikel Roach. Look, we've got a massive game, and Ollie talks about fighting back and this, that and the other. I would like to look at this game from a different angle. This is the team that basically mugged Ollie off a few months ago. That final, if we'd have won that trophy, it would have been a big tick on Solskjaer's CV. I hear people saying Ollie's done more than Van Gaal and Mourinho and Moyes could manage. He's qualified for the Champions League 2 years in a row. He's not done more than Mourinho, has he, though? He hasn't done more than Mourinho, because Mourinho actually qualified for the Champions League in second place, but also won a Europa League and a Carabao Cup. And to be honest with you, would you rather have third and second over 2 years, or would you rather have second, a Europa League and a Carabao Cup? So look, let's not try and pretend that Solskjaer is better than Mourinho in relation to what he's achieved. I think we're heading in the right direction. I think are we heading in the right direction? Question mark. But over the last couple of years, we have rebuilt the football club. But he has been gifted some of the best players that Mourinho and Van Gaal never got. So he's got to deliver. And as I said, Emery's Villarreal mugged him off a few months ago. Forget that Villa game. That's the Everton game for me. You bounce back from the Villa game against Everton because that's the Premier League. This is a Champions League game. We're not bouncing back from Villa into the Champions League. We're bouncing back from the young boys, and we're bouncing back from the Villarreal games. That's what we need to do. Who do you think are worse, Ollie outers or people defending Ollie? I've got no issue with anybody. The thing is, I don't want it to be about that. I'm fed up with that. I don't want it to be about Ollie in or Ollie out. As I've said before, we dream the same dream. We want the same thing. I can't be arsed with immature people who start fighting amongst themselves. I've heard people, on other channels having a pop at me indirectly. Get in contact with me directly. We'll do a video. I'm not interested in indirects. Like, at the end of the day, we dream the same dream, we want the same thing. We want United to be successful, whether you're Ollie in or Ollie out. I'm not bothered, really. I've got my own opinions, you've got your opinions. I can sit and have a chat with you. Let's be grown up. We all want the same thing for the club. I can't be arsed with the same thing over the last 8 years. I've seen it for 8 years. United fans arguing with United fans. I'm better than you. I know better than you. You're not loyal. You're not a proper fan. Shut up. Everybody wants the same thing. We don't need to argue about it. Grow up and have a bloody debate. It doesn't make any difference to me. But look, I love the song by Belinda Carlisle as well, Neil Fish. Anyway, look, I'm going to talk about that team in a minute. But look, Villarreal, they drew 0-0 with Real Madrid. They're mid-table at the moment, but they're not beaten in their last 5. They've drawn a shitload of games again. I remember talking about them ahead of the Europa League final, and it was the same thing. They've drawn a load of games. They're unbeaten in their last 5. But look, interestingly, 7 games in the La Liga so far, they've conceded 3 goals. You'd think that would make them the best team in the league. It's the second best team in the league because Sevilla's only conceded 2. But time and time again, you see this with Villarreal and Emery. They don't concede many goals. They don't really score many goals either. But they're a tight, well-organised team and they're a possession-based team. They like to move the ball about. So it's going to be a difficult game for Manchester United. I'm going to say right here, right now, I think we'll win. I think we'll win 2-0. But I think it's a difficult test for us. And I think the way Solskjaer lines up in this game, it's going to be very interesting. We need more Portuguese lads in the squad, says Jim. Look, on injuries, before we talk about that, Villarreal, Chukwueze is not going to be back. He didn't play in the Europa League final. That's how long his injury's been. He's not quite back. Foyth is important to them. He might be a doubt. And Gerard Mourinho, the striker, might be a doubt as well. But look, when it's talking about Villarreal, whether they've got those players or whether they haven't got those players, they have got a system. Now, you'd probably find it quite boring system at Manchester United, but it's possession-based. It doesn't get many goals, but it doesn't concede many goals. And, of course, they've still got people like Coquelin and Torres. They've got a good spine. They've got a good team. I think they're beatable. I think we have to beat them. And I think we will beat them, but it will be a difficult game and they will be well organised, and it is going to be a test for Ollie as to how he lines up. And that's what I want to talk about next, because we've had some sort of injury updates, to be honest with you. Marcus Rashford has tweeted out that he expects to get the go-ahead to do contact training from Friday. I think it's fantastic, the Rashford recovery. We're also hearing from the Telegraph that he's fully recovered his ankle. The shoulder is obviously the injury that he had the operation on, but his ankle was something that he was carrying for a long time. I'm very excited, like most of you are, I'm sure, that we're going to get Marcus Rashford back fully fit. We haven't seen Marcus Rashford fully fit for about 18 months. This is really exciting, and he's a very important player for us. But that's going to be after the international break. He's clearly not going to be back for the Everton game, so it'll be after the international break. And, we look forward to welcoming Rashford back. Mark, if you notice our defence has a lot of space, McFred is used to mask our defensive issues. They are agile and help close that space over Matic, but they're also shit, mate. Fazal, Mark, I respect every United fan's opinion, but we need to back the manager and get behind our incredible team with great players. I don't think people will agree with Mark. The thing is, you can't say that to anyone. You can't say, we need to do this. It's not a dictatorship. People are more than capable of making their own minds up. And that's why, as a fan base, we need to be mature and realise that people are going to have different opinions. Like somebody just said there, Fred and McTominay do a better job than Matic. I totally disagree with it. Mark, Aaron Wan-Bissaka is suspended. Delo in, says Mikael Roach. Completely forgot about that. Thanks very much. We'll change that. We need to annihilate them and become talk on the pitch FC, says Paraz. And why are Ollie's staff always on their little iPads? They are playing Angry Birds, says Luke. Either that or they're on Who Scored or something like that. I don't know. Surely Carrick has some sort of idea and knows what Fred isn't the answer. Surely he can identify Donny and Matic as the way forward. Nick Stevens, you know what? You make a very, very good point. How does Michael Carrick, one of the best holding midfielders we've ever had at this football club, how does Michael Carrick sit there and allow Fred or McTominay to play over a Matic? But the reality is, Paul Gascoigne was one of the best attacking midfielders England's ever produced, and he was I don't think he ever did any coaching. So, Michael Carrick, have you been out for a meal with Michael Carrick? I've read his book. I don't know whether he's a good coach. Countless footballers were not very good coaches. It's like saying, well, Alan Shearer should be able to manage a team that scores loads of goals, and he didn't. He couldn't do that. So it doesn't correlate. I think you need to have a reset on that one, I think. I'm doing it now. We need to, but you don't have to. But what I would advise is that you do need to look at it and go, well, Michael Carrick was one of the most... I loved Michael Carrick as a footballer. I thought he was so intelligent. He didn't need to tackle. He read the game. He was like a continental regista. He was brilliant at it. But just because he was brilliant at it doesn't mean he can coach somebody. And I think we need to move out of that. The old boys stuff obviously doesn't work. Carrick's been here for years and we've still not got a CDM. So clearly, Carrick is not very good at identifying midfielders. United board should be in talks with Conte now because I fully expect us to lose against Villarreal, says Sean Turner. I think we'll win. But look, you know what? I've just realised that Delo card has him down as English. He's definitely Portuguese. So don't start shouting at me about that. I'm going to talk about the Maguire and Shaw situation because you'll see Tellez in this game. But first of all, just a very interesting thing. Manchester Evening News reporting that Juan Mata's not happy about his lack of game time and is thinking about going in January. What's hello in Spain? Hola, 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 hello, hello, hello. What did he bloody expect? Juan Mata, everybody said Mata should have left in the summer. You know, we all love Juan Mata, but everybody said he should leave in the summer because he's not good enough to play anymore. And where's he going to get his game time? I don't even know why Mata stayed. I tell you what, if Mata goes in January, that is a massive L from the club to not let him go in the summer. Like, I thought he was staying for a year to get his coaching badges or something like that. He's no way near a first-team player for United, and he's nowhere near the bench with the qualities we've got. It's amazing that Mata, if that's true, is thinking about leaving United because he's not getting first-team opportunities. I mean, hello? I don't know. Fred shouldn't be starting, needs to be benched, says Joel. Well, let's go through this team then. So we know that Luke Shaw's carrying an injury, and we know that Harry Maguire's carrying an injury. We also know that under no circumstances will Harry Maguire not start unless he's got a broken leg. He'll carry an injury and he'll play. Now, whether that's right or wrong, I think it's wrong, but we know Ollie will pick Maguire. In relation to Luke Shaw, I personally don't think he will be fit. And I think, you know, I was thinking about whether he'd play Delo at left back, but with Wan-Bissaka out, he's got to play Telles. And to be honest with you, I worry about Telles defensively, but to be fair to Telles, we've never seen what he's all about. Alex Telles, when we bought him, a lot of people thought he was going to be our starting left back. People talk about Van der Beek, people talk about Sancho. What about Telles? Over the 18 months he's been here, he's never been given a run of games. He's never been given an opportunity because Luke Shaw's been very, very good. Luke Shaw is injured. Don't play him. Play Telles. And look, if he's not good enough, you let him go. But this is an opportunity for Telles. You've got to trust him. I have put De Gea in goal, and I'm putting De Gea in goal because of you lot on the show last night. I'm convinced he's going to start Henderson. I'm convinced he's going to be fair. I'm convinced he's penciled Henderson in. It makes no sense to do it in a game we need to win. It makes no sense to not have David De Gea as our number one when he's been our player of the year already so far. So I'm going to put De Gea in because it's logical that De Gea will be the goalkeeper. But on Wednesday night, if Henderson starts, I told you so. That's all I'm going to say. Afternoon, Mark. Hope you're well. Every game is a must-win coming up to the big game against Liverpool, especially in the league, says Wayne Finnegan. Yeah, I'm looking forward to these games, you know. I always say this, haven't I? I've always said this. I don't want us to be playing Norwich at the weekend. I want us to play teams that we have genuinely got to bounce back for. I hate it when United lose a game and then they've got an easy game and it's like, oh, we've bounced back. Let's see if you can bounce back against decent coaches. Emery is a decent coach. Benitez is a decent coach. After the international break, we've got Atalanta, decent coach. We've got Leicester, decent coach. And we've got Liverpool, decent coach. So there's nowhere to hide, and that's what we want to see. Coquelin got a red against Atalanta, so he will miss the game against us, says Gerard Wilson. Okay, there you go. And I think Ollie wants to play Matic and Pogba, but sees the results matter more than performance, hence plays Fred and McTominay as they're capable of grinding out results, which is not what his fans want, says Anand. So look, I think we will see that back five, unless he puts Henderson in goal, which he shouldn't do, but I've got a funny feeling he will. I think he will start Maguire. I think he will bring Pogba back into the midfield. I think that will be the big gesture from Ollie. After the weekend, I think he has to change that midfield, but it won't really be a change because Pogba starts every game anyway. It will be a positional shift. I think he will play Fred for his mobility, and I think he will play Pogba in there, and I think he will drop McTominay because the last two games, McTominay's not looked right. And I don't think he will, so I think he'll go with Fred and Pogba. I would go Matic and Pogba. I think he will go Fred and Pogba, obviously Bruno, which allows Sancho to come in the team, allows him to pick Greenwood, and obviously Ronaldo got front. So that's the team I predict he will pick. It's the most logical team. I can't promise you he won't stick with McTominay and Fred and keep Pogba on the left. But I think he's wise. I think he will be fully aware of what people are saying. And I commend people like Gary Neville who've come out and said things, because it's not that Gary Neville's voice is any better than yours. It's just that fan opinion is one thing. You need the media, you need the ex-players to start saying the same things as well. Fantastic clip from Gary Neville, which I saw last night, which I retweeted on Matt Goldbridge, where basically saying a lot of what we've been saying on this channel. Moments FC. And that's what I'm going to call us now. We're Moments FC. And, maybe Moments FC wins as an FA Cup and it gets a second in the league. But Moments FC ain't going to win as the league. So, you know what? We're meant to be trying to win a league. We're not Manchester United. We're Moments FC at the moment because we rely on moments and we need to rely on good football. So I actually hope we do see that starting lineup on Wednesday night, because I think it's the sort of lineup that has the ability to actually play some football, and we're never going to be able to play football with McTominay and Fred in the midfield. You'll notice Fred start. I mean, I'd rather have Matic than Fred, but you know, for me, it's about getting Pogba into the midfield, or getting Donny van de Beek into the midfield, or getting Matic into the midfield. Basically breaking up the McTominay and Fred. I nearly said the axes of evil. I mean, that's a bit unfair, but, you know, I feel like George Bush. But the reality is, no, I want to break up Fred and McTominay. And, you know, if we get Pogba in and it's McTominay with him or it's Fred with him, it's halfway there, isn't it? But I'd rather have Matic. Last season, you said if you saw Ollie pick McFred, you'd be Ollie out. We need to start Donny in the midfield. Arjun, you know what? What is it? Why are people so obsessed with my opinion? It says it on my Twitter bio. I'm just a fan. I'm not a voice for the fans. I don't want to be a voice for the fans. Stop trying to make I am a voice for the fans, because I don't want to be one. I have an opinion. I'm not Ollie out. If you want me to be Ollie out, I'm not Ollie out. I don't think I'm at that stage yet. I'm very angry. I'm very frustrated, but I'm not Ollie out at the moment. Also, let's have a look at this super chat from Anand. He says, I think Ollie wants to play Matic and Pogba, but see that results matter more than performance. Hence plays Fred and McTominay, as they are capable of grinding out results, which is not what us fans want, says Anand. I tell you what, the fans on my laptop don't want me streaming at the moment. I don't know what's going wrong with it. I'm going to have to take it apart. It's taking off again. Bloody annoying, I tell you. Anyway, also what I wanted to talk to you about was, look, the enormity of this game is not lost on me, and it shouldn't be lost on you either. The reality is that, and look, I'm not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, right? Why is my opinion so important to so many of you? I mean, I'm flattered. I'm absolutely flattered. I don't pick the team. I'm not the reason you're frustrated. Leave me alone. Like, literally leave me alone. I'm 100% happy with my position. What I say is not going to get dictated to by you. As I said at the start of the show, if you're Ollie in or you're Ollie out, I don't care. You shouldn't be arguing with each other. You should be discussing it with each other, because ultimately, Ollie in and Ollie out doesn't exist. Wanting the best for Manchester United is what you should all want. And that is what you should all be talking about. But no, what is the modern world we live in now? You've got to have conflict. You've got to argue. If you're not tapping away on your phones and having an argument with each other, apparently you're not living. But the reality is, what's the goal in the argument? Oh, we want United to win. Oh, so do we. So do we. How are you? Let's have a conversation about how we get Manchester United to win. But no, absolutely not. Manchester United's social media is riddled with argument, toxicity and abuse. And yet you all want the same thing. But you're not intelligent enough to actually realise that and actually start discussing it. Because it's got to be, oh, you're an Ollie outer, you're an Ollie inner, you're a sympathiser, you're this, you're that. The reality is, we've got a massive game on Wednesday night. It's massive, massive. If we lose that game, if we draw that game, we'll be back in the Europa League potentially back in February. We might not even be qualified for that. So, you know, we're almost after 2 games hoping that Atalanta draw with Young Boys and then we win Villareal. But remember what Ollie said. Oh, it doesn't matter massively that we lost to Young Boys, because if we win our home games, we'll be fine. He's put the pressure on this result. He's right. You've got to win your home games. Got to win this game. Villarreal, a point's a good point. A point's a great point for Villarreal. We have to win this game on Wednesday night, and I think we will. I'm going to go 2-0. But it's a huge game. It's a repeat of the Europa League final. And Ollie has got to deliver in this game. Now, will he just go with defensive back 6, try and grind out a bit of moments FC? Look, he might do. I'm not going to tell you how we're going to win it, but I think we will. Mark, would you try Pogba on the left, Sancho on the right, Donny van de Beek and Matic in the midfield, says Paul. I would like to see that, Paul. I don't think we will. I'm not Ollie out as well. It's just the fact we've got so much quality and we're still starting McFred. Your influence is massive, by the way, which is why I asked, says Arjun. And Mark, it seems like Ollie has coached scared since he got the job permanently. If Ollie wants to improve, do you feel that he should be more involved in practice, says Grant Fisher. The team might not make it with the petrol crisis, says Steve Locke. Oh, the petrol crisis in this country is an absolute joke. Look, you know what? Please smash a like on the video, by the way, and make sure you subscribe. The clarity of the situation, I understand that people might not understand the situation that some people's stance is. If we lose against Villarreal and we lose against Everton, we go into an international break, and I think you've got to have a really big conversation about Manchester United. I think the reason people are Ollie out is because some of them, I know some of you and respect some of you have been Ollie out for a very long time. Some people are starting to shift now. And remember, with Mourinho, he finished. I've said this so many times. There are similarities to Mourinho that I didn't really want to happen. Some of our fan base was Ollie out towards the end of last season, but we finished second. Over the summer, let's see what happens. Start of the season, nothing changed. Mourinho out. He was gone by Christmas. Now, the differences are that Mourinho didn't get backed in his summer after he finished second, but Ollie has. So therefore, it puts more pressure on Ollie. The similarity is Ollie started this season like last season, which is what Mourinho did. It's recent history, you should be able to remember it. But Mourinho finished second. He didn't get backed. He didn't change his football, and people went Jose out very quickly. Ollie got second. He got backed, and his football's not changed, and people are starting to move against him. Ollie should take that as a big warning sign. There's always been similarities between him and Mourinho, and this is the most important season, and he's not changed his style of play. And it is putting pressure onto him. However, we have backed Ollie. We have got Varane. We have got Ronaldo. We have got Rashford coming back. We've got Bruno. We've got Pogba. I cannot give up on that now or never line that we all came up with at the start of the season. And it is now or never. And it's still now or never. And if we win on Wednesday and we win against Everton, we're back in a position where we can start to think, can we have a good season again? And obviously so much of that is about how we perform as well, and I'll be keeping an eye on that. But I don't dismiss the frustration. You saw me after the game, you've seen me over the last couple of days. We're Moments FC. But what I'm doing is I'm calling Ollie out, and I think that's what some fans are. I think Gary Neville's doing it. Paul Ince did it this morning. What an interview that was. People are calling Ollie out. But they're not Ollie out. They're calling Ollie out. What that means is they're basically publicly saying to Ollie, the way you are playing isn't good enough. You must change it. It's like, call it your last chance saloon, whatever. He's in the last chance saloon. He's in year 3. Paul Ince is right. He's had a long time at that club. Everyone wants him to succeed. He can either bury his head in the stand and carry on playing the same way he is, and eventually it'll all fall apart. Or he can spend his time right here, right now, saying, I've got to change that midfield. And for me, you know what? I want to see no more McTominay and Fred. And I did say at the end of last season that if he goes into this season still picking McFred, I'll end up being Ollie out. And he has gone into it. So I will end up being Ollie out, won't I? But he can change it. And let's see if he does. I won't be surprised if Ollie plays Delo on the left and Lindelof as right back, says Pisco. Mark, do you think there is any possibility of getting new owners in the next 5 years? Well, Rohit, this is the thing for me. If we had new owners, we wouldn't even be having this conversation, because new owners would want winners, and they'd demand it. But, we're stuck with what we've got. To look at the games we won and say, we could have won better with different tactics, and not feel that Ollie proved us wrong in his strategy, says Emil Garcia. Hey Mark, sorry it's a bit off topic, but is there opportunities to feature on the channel? Should we send an email to soccerboxtv? Says Paolo Reese. No, that's football media. That's football media at gmail.com, mate. Thanks very much for the super chat, Paolo. Ollie is making the simple things look hard. He has the players to be able to play fast, free-flowing, exciting football instead of this 2-time CDMs and a back six, as Wayne Finnegan. This feels like Lampard as well. Similarities such as he's been backed and having a manager like Conte. Should we try and get him as manager? I don't want Conte, Iron. I don't think Conte fits Manchester United, and I think you've got to be careful what you wish for. But I do wonder what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is doing when he sees Brentford get promoted and play like that. When he sees Brighton playing like they do. When he sees these teams who don't have the resources he's got, but they're coaching their players. It's abomination. It's frustrating. It's ridiculous. I don't understand why we as a team are not using better tactics when he's got so many fantastic players. I mean, what I would say is about the coaching is look at that team on my left, and there's a couple of players missing for injury, but look at that team on my left. Imagine what the Brentford manager or Potter or Brendan Rodgers or even a Dean Jones would get out of those players. Now, they might struggle because they're not used to managing those sort of players, but is Ollie not struggling? So I see Villa, I see Brentford, I see Brighton. I see Leicester. And they've got a plan. And imagine what a good coach can do with those players. So Dean Smith, I don't know why I call him Dean Jones. Smith and Jones, isn't it? So yeah, it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one. But look, you know what? I think we've got the perfect game on Wednesday night and the perfect game on Saturday. They are difficult coaches. They are good coaches with good teams. They're not as good as us. We should win both these games. They're both at Old Trafford. The crowd will be ready. But I'll tell you what, if he goes out there with McTominay and Fred and they don't deliver in the first half an hour, and I should have said this last night, the fans aren't stupid. They're the same as you. They have the same thoughts, they have the same concerns. If we start that game with McTominay and Fred and Villarreal get hold of the ball and start creating chances, I guarantee you after half an hour that crowd will not be the rocking, excited crowd it was before kickoff. And that'll be on Ollie. He needs to get that crowd on side. He needs that crowd to deliver and be the 12th man. And they'll do that by playing Manchester United football. And by Manchester United football is running the midfield and running the game. And that's the key area for me. Will he do that? But as I said, Villarreal is going to be a very difficult game. I think they're a well-organised team. They don't concede many goals. They don't score many goals, so I'm going to go 2-0 to Manchester United. But I think they'll cause us problems if we don't play the right way. And the right way is to get Pogba into the midfield for me, get Sancho on the left. Sancho's perfect for this game. It will be played as a possession, well-organised game. There's not going to be the opportunity to just run into space. They're not going to give us that space. So you want people who can play football. Ideally, Van der Beek is heaven sent for Champions League football. Sancho is as well. So Sancho's got to start. We know Donny won't start, but Sancho's got to start. And we've got to try and play a possession-based game. And Tellez will be used to that. And Delot will be used to that. And Pogba will be used to that. And I look at that team, and the only person who won't be used to a possession-based game is Fred. So I'd play Matic. But we've got an opportunity to play a bit of possession-based football with people who want to play nice tempo possession-based football. And I think Ollie can't refuse that. Donny must be starting regularly, and the reason why people ask if you're Ollie out is the influence you have, and your opinion has that influence on fans. I don't think it does, Iron. But if people want the bottom line, Korshik, thanks for the super chat. If you want the bottom line, whether it's my opinion, your opinion, or anybody's opinion, nobody's happy with it, Ollie. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to be talking on a Monday morning to fans of other clubs and having to say you play a better brand of football than us. We're Moments FC. We've got some of the best players in the world, and we've got no style of play that befits them. That's embarrassing, and it's not acceptable. And he's got to do something about it. And as I said after the game on Saturday, now Solskjaer has this cloud over him that he's not a very good coach. It is. When Gary Neville says Moments FC, when we say Moments FC, I mean, he didn't say Moments FC, when he said Man United are about moments, and we say Moments FC, and, the criticism he's getting in the media, the criticism he's getting by ex-players, the criticism he's getting by the fans, above Ollie's head it says, not a very good coach at the moment, ? And only he can change that. So it's all eyes on Ollie. I know we said it was all eyes on Ollie at the start of the season, but he's put himself under a massive amount of pressure. And when you look at the start to the season, let me just read this out. Start to the season: Leeds, Southampton, Wolves, Newcastle, West Ham, Villa. We said after those 6 games we needed to have 18 points. We've got 13. We've dropped 5 points, and none of those teams are that good. So people can say, well, we're only 1 point off the top, but Chelsea have played Man City. They've played Liverpool. Man City have played Chelsea, and they're playing Liverpool next week. Everybody's playing games that are more difficult than ours, and we've already dropped points. Remember, it's a 38-game season, and we will have to play some of the harder games when they're going to play some of the easier games. And that gap will go like that. We still don't know what his best 11 is. He's still got lots of players that aren't happy and not getting game time. All eyes on Ollie. All eyes on Ollie. It's a massive test for him. Can't think of another team whose fans all have the same opinion on team choice, yet the manager can't see it. With McFred, says NMCC. And the first thing any established coach would do is ask Bruno to play a bit deeper than he does, says Korshik A. Thank you very much. Well, look, you know what? There is an interesting conversation to have, but I think it's one for a few weeks' time. Does Ronaldo actually fit the style of football that Ollie wants to play? And the answer is no, because Ronaldo is a player that benefits from lots of chances and an attacking style of play. Ollie actually prefers a Martial or a Cavani, maybe not a Martial, but certainly a Cavani who defends from the front and runs around and presses. That's not really what Ronaldo's game is about. So, you know, obviously we couldn't refuse buying Ronaldo. He's one of the best players in the world. But does he fit Manchester United in this current style as well? We need to change the style. I am hoping Man United don't lose against Villarreal. Then Ollie needs to take a good long look at himself. We should easily get maximum points as Jack Lynch. Well, look, we are back at 8 o'clock tonight. Is Maguire in for the game against Villarreal? Maguire will want to play and Ollie will pick him. He's the captain. He always picks him when he's not, when, you know, he's obviously carrying a bit of a knock, but I think he will definitely play. And the reason he will play is if he doesn't play, we're playing 3 reserves in our back 4 and Varane. And, you know, he won't want to do that. He knows the importance of this game. Maguire will play through the pain, definitely. I'm going to be live doing my Man United FIFA career mode. I've dropped the link in the video description. Live at 3 o'clock on Twitch, Goldbridge TV. Episode 4, it's going well at the moment. It's better than Ollie anyway. You can tune in for that if you're into that sort of thing. We're back at 8 o'clock tonight, and thanks everyone for watching. Make sure you smash a like on the video, subscribe, and it's telling you what to do there actually. And I'll speak to you all in a bit, but I'm going to go with a Manchester United win. I'm going to go 2-0. I think the bounce back is going to happen over the next few days, and I think we will get 2 wins. But let's, you know, what do I know? Let's wait and see. Speak to you all in a bit. Thanks.